I have to get that yawn out of the way. That way it's not contagious and I don't make you all yawn. It's not that I'm bored. It's just I get tired too when I'm up early morning. I was up at like 6. I'm not sure why. I didn't sleep well. Slept like crap, actually. But here I am. So this, the thing I did cameo in. So this was found. Check this out. It is a promotional telephone. Now this thing is in. I mean, this is the original box of this sucker. 1984, made in Taiwan, even. And this thing is just. I mean, look at this. This is a telephone. I guess it was a promotional item. The person, I guess, their dad worked at Heinz and they got it from there. I mean, it's unscathed. So apparently you talk on the phone like this. Catch up. Yeah, phone made in Taiwan, it says in little letters. When you put it down, it hangs up. Little push buttons here. And it even says on it, let's see, where's it at? There was instructions somewhere that I saw. Oh, yeah, it has the original instructions and everything. Look at this. The little gel pack. It's got the box top still. Illustration, receiver, microphone, numerical bottom, redial button. Heinz ketchup bottle telephone. Look at this picture. Oh, man. It looks like somebody sketched that on the back of a napkin and they used that as the promotional item. I love that. So, yes. So now I have a promotional Heinz ketchup bottle phone. Let's see. It's similar in size to a real Heinz ketchup bottle. Look at that. It's almost the same color, too. That's pretty uncanny. All right, we'll put that right there. Next to it. 14 ounce versus a 14. Oh, wow, they're the same thing. 397 grams. Wow, that's pretty accurate, except just a little bit larger. Slightly larger than the actual glass bottle. All right, so I bring that up because, again, it's the Heinz verified thing. You know, me, co-star / cameo, Stephen He, Day Trip and Heinz, blah, blah, blah. Watch it. I'll comment on it eventually. I keep promising I just forget. Anyway, episode 101, the original frequency of WWCD, started on August 21st, 1990. So we just missed our 35th anniversary. All right, let's start with album releases for the day. Albums, then singles, and then we'll go to the history of music and stuff and all those things. And again, no particular order because I get it from multiple resources and I'm just not that organized. I'm going to take the time to go, I just write it. So it's not linear. Sorry, can't help you. This was released. It was recorded in 1978, but it was released in 2019. It was Bruce Springsteen's Passaic, September 19th, 1978. So it was recorded. I guess it was recorded on a bunch of different tracks that they finally got a compilation of and then released it in 2019. Again, from 1978. And on this day in 2009, the Beatles, again, these old bands keep just reoccurring. They released the original studio recording box set. Again, to promote all the old recordings, they remastered them and recorded the box set and released that on this day. In 2003, My Morning Jacket. Their third album, It Still Moves, was released on this day. In 1971, see, 2003, 71, just no linear time to this whatsoever. Well, time isn't linear, right? I mean, we know that. Isn't that the way it works? It's just a river that flows. 1971, John Lennon releases his second solo album, Imagine. Also, John and Yoko appear on television on this day during the release of his Imagine album. 1977, Mr. Iggy Pop also releases his second solo, Lust for Life. Now, that was a really good album. If you listen to Iggy Pop at all, that's a very, very good album. Lots of hard driving Iggy Pop coming from that one. In 1980, Tom Waits released his seventh album, and that was Heart Attack and Vine. I don't really have a lot to comment on that one. I had to go back and listen a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay. So I missed some of that, so I don't have a ton of that one for it. In 2016, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds released their 16th album, Skeleton Tree. I just, again, lost on that one a little bit. In 2013, Arctic Monkeys released their fifth album, AM. We had the Arctic Monkeys come by a couple of times to the station. They were very nice. I think I have an autographed guitar or something by them. Speaking of autographed guitars, apparently a couple of fine gentlemen were discovered with four autographed guitar. A couple of fine gentlemen were discovered with four autographed guitars today. The police called me up and said, "Hey, can you identify these guitars?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's the band Weezer." That one's, and I basically just listed out the four guitars. I was like, "Yep, that's them." Apparently I didn't even realize how many things got stolen. Nothing else was discovered, just that. So I'm sure that they'll claim they found them somewhere. Anyway, got four guitars back. And if you don't know the story, the radio station building got broken into, vandalized, ransacked, and apparently a lot of stuff got stolen. Because every time I look, I'm like, oh, the generator's missing. Oh, the walkie-talkies are missing. Oh, apparently four guitars are missing. Oh, an entire bag of extension cords is missing. Oh, I'm missing speaker stands. Who knows? 2016, the band Wilco released their 10th album titled Schmilko. Wilco Schmilko. Wilco's been to the station as well. They were always fun. And then in 1996, REM released New Adventures in Hi-Fi, their 10th album. We were talking about REM yesterday a little bit. I think that one didn't reach very high, but Michael Stipe said that this was his favorite album. I mean, okay, interesting. I guess you just have to say that after a while. Like, no, this is my favorite, so that people buy it because they bought all your first stuff, and now it's your 10th, and it's just not the same. Singles released on this day. Singles. In 1949, Hank Williams. I know I don't do country, but Hank Williams, you gotta give the man credit. Hank Williams released Lost Highwaymen. He did not write it apparently, but it fit with his sort of storytelling motif. I guess Hank Williams Jr. referenced Lost Highwaymen in one of his songs about it's time for them to settle down, and they've all kind of rested. Derek and the Dominoes released Layla in 1970. Now remember, Derek and the Dominoes was Clapton. That's why Clapton sings Layla, because he was in Derek and the Dominoes. Otherwise, it would seem like, is that a cover? No, he was the band. That was Derek and the Dominoes. He was in that. 1982, Alabama. Again, it's all right. They released Mountain Man, the single. And in 1991, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers released Into the Great Wide Open. That's a good song. I listened to that just before I started. I was like, yeah, Tom Petty's got some great stuff. I'm glad I got to see Petty. I only saw Petty once, but I got to see Petty. I think I missed the one last tour. I was like, I should go. And I'm like, but there'll be another time. There was not another time. Apparently, that's not how it should work. But you've got to keep that in mind. I should go see this band. I'll see him next time. Well, we never know what next time is. I was actually reading a line. I saved it. It's in my pocket. But anyway, it's from the movie The Sheltering Sky, the book The Sheltering Sky. It's sort of one of my favorite little quotes. I don't have it memorized anymore. Sorry. But anyway, it just talks about the finiteness of it all and the infiniteness of it all. How it just seems that there is no end, but then how many more times will we actually see the moon rise, etc. The Sheltering Sky. Read it. It's a good book. All right. So now things. Okay, we've done albums and singles. Now we do things. Okay, stuff that happened. I've got, page and a half, and then we'll get to the births and the deaths. Okay, so in 2024, again, interesting because it's country, but Beyonce is snubbed by the Country Music Awards, even though she had the biggest country hit of the year, Texas Hold'em. Did not receive a single nomination for it. And fans expected, pundits and proponents expected that she could potentially be the first black woman to ever get Album of the Year. Completely snubbed. No recognition, not a single nomination. Everyone just said, nope, you're Beyonce, you get nothing. How's that for you? Talk about snubbage. Oof. I found that to be very interesting. Lana Del Rey, again, don't really care, but it was interesting. Lana Del Rey, number one in the UK, one of their sixth album, NFR, which stands for Norman fucking Rockwell. I was like, oh, okay, that's funny. 2018, Eminem goes to number one in the UK. Now, if this is his 10th album, Kamikaze, it's also number one in 15 countries. And this makes this his 10th consecutive number one album, and also became the best-selling hip-hop album of 2018. I did not realize that at all. I didn't know Eminem had such dominance in the hip-hop world in 2018, but apparently he did. 30 other countries hit number one. Or 15 other countries hit number one. That's kind of crazy. And then for him to be the best-selling hip-hop album of 2018. I mean, I didn't know who else was being hip-hop in 2018, but apparently no one that compared with Eminem. Just saying. In 2008, Daniel Sullivan is arrested. Daniel Sullivan was a fan, and he was at the V Festival in Canada when he ran on stage and he tackled guitarist Liam Gallagher from Oasis. Gallagher had to go to the hospital. The band stated that Gallagher fell hard on his monitor speaker. So he had to go to the hospital. But this guy was arrested for assault for tackling Liam Gallagher. I guess I don't understand, how did you get on stage? There's supposed to be a lot of security. And why did you tackle him? You just try to give him a hug, like, hey, buddy, can I give you a hug? And I don't know. I didn't find the footage, so I'm sure there's footage somewhere. But, bro, what are you doing? Why are you tackling the band? That's not cool. Then they get all paranoid and they don't want to deal with you. Just saying, man. That's not the thing that you want to have, okay? 2007, Taylor Swift. 2006, 50 Cent is stopped by police for driving recklessly, unsafe lane change. It turns out he got tickets written for unsafe lane change, also for no permit, no insurance, no registration. And while he was getting this ticket, I guess a crowd of fans gathered, were harassing the police, booing them, cheering on 50 Cent, and generally being annoying. he was also driving a brand new silver Lamborghini convertible. So, yeah, bro, you gotta have a driver's license. No insurance. I mean, if you wreck that thing, I mean, I know you're rich and all, but yeah, you just burned all that cash because no one's fixing it except for you. So I guess, maybe you get insurance for it or registration. You just pulled off the lot with it and be like, I'm going to go for a spin. Wait, sir, you don't have. Oh, well, we don't care. Just paid me my money. I'm going to drive away with it. I found it to be funny. In 2005, Liverpool City Council confirmed that they would, in fact, demo the birthplace home of Ringo Starr. Basically acquitting or accounting that the house bore no significance in historic terms. None. Even though Ringo Starr was born in his birthplace. They said due to the fact that he only lived there for 90 days, 3 months, and I think this is probably the bigger picture, it was one of 460 homes that were to be destroyed for a renovation project of the area. So I'm betting that, yeah, they were like, we can get it. It's, probably in the middle of the block somewhere. And they were like, yeah, no, we're not going to. We've got 459 other homes we're going to demo to make this new, city blocks of new housing and generate a bunch of cash. And Ringo Starr, well, I don't know. I guess we'll give him something else. But we're not going to worry about his ancestral home of 90 days. I was like, all right, progress must go on, I guess. That's the way that works. 0 F's given. We're just going to tear that sucker down. In 2005, Bruce Springsteen Institution. So at Monmouth University in New Jersey, I know it is Monmouth College, they call it now. Monmouth College in New Jersey held an international conference on all things Bruce Springsteen. I guess there was his life, his work, his influence. I guess there was hundreds of papers written. Hundreds of people went to this. There was 150 speakers. Thousands of people went to this thing. Bruce wasn't there. It wasn't like Bruce Springsteen was there. It was just an international conference on all things Bruce. Yeah, that's not a cult. I swear it's not. This will make me laugh. Okay, and if it doesn't make you laugh, that's okay too. Okay, in 2004, Bootylicious was added to the Oxford English Dictionary. Apparently, Snoop Dogg, the Dr. Dre song, Dre Day from 1992 is when it was first used, and it became such a normal part of the English vernacular that they finally added it in 2004 to the actual Oxford English Dictionary. Bootylicious on this day. Oh, my. I mean, why not, right? I mean, people use it all the time. 1995, Coolio, the guy with the great hair, is first number one in the U.S. single, Gangsta's Paradise. He also won a Grammy Award for that. Good old Coolio. This one, I was like, I have to find it. In 1992, at the MTV Music Awards, Chris Novoselic of Nirvana apparently knocked himself unconscious. He threw his guitar in the air, missed it, and it cracked him in the head. Again, knocking him down and knocking himself unconscious, hitting himself in his own head with his own guitar. Boom. I mean, that would do it. I mean, it's heavy. You get cracked with the guitar. El Kabong. That was a cartoon, Deputy Dog. And when his secret identity was El Kabong, he would smash people with a guitar. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling, Clementine. El Kabong. 1982, the band Rush, released their ninth album. Again, Signals. It only reached number 10 in the U.S. Again, not Rush's finest. 1989, New Kids on the Block, number 1 today. That's it. I didn't go into it any further. It was number 1, so I said, all right. Apparently, people were digging New Kids on the Block. I was not. And this one again, 1977. So David Bowie was on a show, Mark Bolan, with ITV. And they sung the duet. They sung Heroes as a duet. He also sang a couple another song. But as he was singing it, I guess Bolan fell off the stage, much to Bowie's amusement. I guess Bowie cracked up and thought that was absolutely hilarious that this guy fell off the stage. They recorded a couple of demos, but those songs were never released because Mark Bolan was killed a week later in an auto accident. So don't record with David Bowie, apparently, and fall off the stage. That was a precursor. It was sort of like, you fall off the edge of the stage, car runs you over. Final destination. It's happening no matter what. In 1975, Paul McCartney kicks off a 13-month tour. 13 months. Records the triple album, Wings Over America. And it is the first time that he is back in the United States in the North America part of the United States, since 1966, when he finished touring with the Beatles. I believe I saw that tour in 75, I think. Did I see the tour? I don't know. No, I didn't. It wasn't 75. I would not have been old enough to see that. No, was not. My bad. I'm just trying to think. This one's amazing. In 1965, The Hollywood Reporter published Madness Folk and Role Musicians. Singers wanted for a new TV show, parts for 4 insane boys. That was what was published in The Hollywood Reporter. 439 or 437 people applied. 4 were in fact chosen, and the monkeys were born. So yes, if you did that today, could you imagine publishing that today? That showed up in the Hollywood Reporter, saying exactly those words. Madness folk, and role musicians. I was like, okay. Maybe madness rock and roll musicians. I thought it said folk musicians. Maybe I misread it. I can go back and look. It would make sense if it said madness rock and roll. That would make much more sense, right? Wouldn't it? It said madness rock and roll musicians, singers wanted for new TV show, parts for 4 insane boys. How many people would apply for that? I mean, seriously, 437 did that in 1965. Today, it would be like 40,079 easily. They'd have to pick through that. I mean, that'd be like getting a role for, Survivor or something for Mr. Beast. To get tens of thousands of people applying for that stuff. Just saying. 1965, the Rolling Stones go to number 1 in the UK for Can't Get No Satisfaction. Now, the funny story is, it was the 4th UK number 1 for them. Now, Keith Richards was in Florida when he wrote the riff for this song. Apparently, when he was, doing it and recording this thing, he fell asleep while recording it. And when he woke up the next morning and he played it back, he had 2 minutes of the chorus for it, and then the sound of him dropping the guitar pick, and 40 minutes of him snoring. I was like, that's just perfect. So this is also the guy whose house is now burned down twice in England. Remember we talked about they had 2 different fires, and they said one of them could be from basically them drinking and not paying attention. So I don't know if he fell asleep from that, but it just seems like that would be something a little, easy to just fall asleep while standing or playing a guitar. That's just me. 1963, The Beatles, once again, number 1 in the UK, Sure She Loves You, as well as Please, Please Me. And She Loves You is the best-selling single of 1963 in Britain. I was like, okay, that's not too shabby. In 1956, the first TV show, appearance of Elvis Presley occurs, where he sings Don't Be Cruel, Love Me Tender, and Ready Teddy. And that's recorded and shot in L.A. Just 2 years earlier, on the same day, 1954, Elvis, opens up the Lamar Airways Shopping Center in Memphis, Tennessee. It basically opens a shopping mall. Johnny Cash is in attendance, seeks him out after the show, and that's the first time Johnny Cash meets Elvis Presley at the Lamar Airways Shopping Center grand opening. So, yeah, they got to figure, that's a pretty good jump from one year to the next. What else? 1992, Howard Stern at the MTV Music Awards premieres as Fart Man. Remember that whole shenanigans? Stern was Fart Man. 2007, Farm Aid New York City. We just talked about Farm Aid in Columbus, Ohio. But in 2007, Farm Aid again had Willie Nelson, John Cougar Mellencamp, Neil Young, Dave Matthews, Modest Yahoo, Guster, Greg Allman, the Allman Brothers, and other sundry artists perform to help farmers. 1990, Neil Young's 8th album is released, Ragged Glory. It only reaches number 31 in the U.S. I don't even remember that album and what songs are on it, so could not have been that great. Sorry, Neil. In 1995, the Charlatans, not the Charlatans UK, the Charlatans, have number 1 song in the UK from the same named album, The Charlatans. In 2006, Justin Timberlake, 7 weeks at number 1. Sexy Back, I didn't really care. It just seemed like 7 weeks is pretty good. 2006, Kasabian. Love Kasabian. We talked about them last night because one of the bandmates, the American guy, it was his birthday. And we talked about when they did the show here and his family all came from Pennsylvania to visit him. But Kasabian was number 1 in the UK for their second album, Empire. So there you go. All right, Born on This Day. Born on This Day was Otis Redding, sitting on the back of the bag. Now, Otis died when he was 26, so he just missed that whole 27, famous 27 musician club. Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics. But now Dave Stewart also, because I had to write down, Dave Stewart also worked with Mick Jagger and Tom Petty. He wrote a bunch of songs and did some stuff with those guys too. But yeah, Dave Stewart, Sweet Dreams Are Made of These, the Eurythmics. Pete Thomas, 71 today. He would play with Elvis Costello in The Attractions. So that's what we know him for. And then we've got, I'm going to go back over here, Michael Bublé. It's his birthday today. Canadian Mr. Michael Bublé, who hit it big in 2005. My friend Amy's gone and seen him. He said he's the dirtiest potty mouth of any guy you'd ever imagine. All right, we're going to go to this while I fix this camera. That is me. So remember, that is the whole Heinz Verified with me Stephen He, and Day Trippin'. So check that out and make comments about me. You know, it seems it's way in the rearview mirror now, so I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll keep pushing it. Who knows? Maybe it gets picked up in its second life, and I get to go on the road. Don't know. But Michael Bublé, 5 Grammy Awards, born on this day, and I guess complete potty mouth. We're talking with Dave Stewart, Phil Palmer, born on this day, 1952. He was basically played with Clapton and Dire Straits. And he also produced stuff with Iggy, Bob Dylan, and George Michaels, of all people. And then on this day, also Doug Ingle, founding member of Iron Butterfly. Iron Butterfly is the one who had that 17-minute song Inagata Divita that was on the B-side and became a hit. Inagata Divita, 17-minute song, stayed on the charts for 140 weeks. I mean, that's kind of crazy if you think about it. Even if it wasn't, number one, to be on the charts for 140 weeks, that's pretty good. 17-minute song. Okay, so that was the Borns, I believe. I think I got all the Born people. Is that all the Born people? Yes, Born people. And then on this day, the people who died. Well, we know that actor Burgess Meredith died on this day. Burgess Meredith was in Rocky. You gotta cut me, Rock! You gotta cut me, Mick. He was also Batman in the TV series. He was the Penguin in the Batman back in the late 60s. Batman and Robin, the Batman show. He was the Penguin. And Larry Hovis, who was Carter on Hogan's Heroes, he died on this day. And then I guess yesterday I said this, but I think it was today. I had to look back. It was James Earl Jones died today, the 9th, not the 8th. James Earl Jones was that he's got that famous voice. He did Field of Dreams. He was the Doctor in Field of Dreams. He was Darth Vader's voice. He was in Clear and Present Danger. All sorts of stuff. Actor James Earl Jones. Also on this day, Huey Thomas, founding member of the Outlaws. He died on this day. Robert Throb Young, founding member of Primal Scream, passed away on this day. And Ernie Ball. We talked about Ernie Ball not too long ago. I think it was his birthday or something. But Ernie Ball was the guitar maker, and he designed the Slinky guitar string. So it's the string that's wrapped around another string. It's got the string in the center and the little coil that goes around it, which was specifically designed for electric guitar. And you can still get Ernie Ball strings to this day because that's what he made, and people still use them. So that is today in rock and roll, according to me. And that's just the way it goes. Episode 101. 101 days. CD 101. All that stuff. So there you go. I have nothing else. Like I said, it was a long day. I had to deal with the police again today. I had to deal with the building again today. I had to build again today. It just, it's like, what am I doing this, right? What's the purpose of all this? I just don't know at this point. But we keep going, right? That's all we can do. Just keep going. We soldier on. So I appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. It's Tuesday, I believe, because the garbage cans are out today. That's how I know what day it is, because the green garbage can was out. So it's a Tuesday. So have a good rest of your week. And look forward to seeing what happens at the end of the week for me. Whether I'm here, whether I take a road trip to go see Here Now. Find out. Thank you. As always, we will in fact fade to black.